to my channel. It's Tani Games here. I'm here with a speed build for you all. It's technically going to be of Eric's boat, but I did just want to quickly show you this little setup here. Now, I cannot take credit for this. This is 100% inspired by probably Senpai. If you haven't seen any of his stuff, do go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. But he released his full Valley tour on YouTube and I was just absolutely blown away. And one of the things he did was actually put Eric's castle on the little island by Skull Rock. And I was just so inspired. I had to steal it. So I did. I stole it. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little tour of this. So I have used these rocks. Now these rocks can actually go in the water, which is quite cool because there's not really a lot of items you can put in water. So I just made it kind of like a crossing, which was again inspired by another creator. This one I've forgotten and I do apologise immensely for that. But we just set up a little like hammock in the back here. Underneath the trees. I have tried to use quite a bit of the beach grass. We've got a couple of shells dotted about. We've put out one of his little chairs, which you should be able to sit on. There we go. And there's Eric's boat there in the background. But yeah, I just thought it would be a good use of this island actually. And then just round the corner here, I've made this little setup with the little sea chair. We've got his little boat on here and the little mermaid lamp, and he can look and he can pine over Ariel in the distance there. So yeah, I've just kind of like set that up and framed it. But yeah, it's just a small little build, but 100% of this idea has come from probably Senpai. I've kind of tweaked it a little to my island, like with this crossing and the lily pads and everything, just because I like how they look. I think it's very pretty. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly show this. So he's no longer going to be in my meadow, which does mean that there is more room for my theme park, which I'm kind of glad about. I was a bit nervous about doing a build for Eric in such a small space, but considering he has not only his castle but the boat that we're about to get to, I figured he could sit on this island. It's his own place. He's still close to Ariel. And yeah, it just looks nice. It actually fits in really well here. So I'm quite pleased by that. But I will get into the speed build for the boat for you all. And I'll see you at the end of the video again. So see you in a bit. Bye for now. Okay, so that's the end of that little speed build. A very nice, short and sweet one. I thought I'd do something a little bit different with this. Instead of filling out all the rooms on the boat as if it was like a boat, which is something I did contemplate doing originally, I thought I'd take the opportunity to create rooms for each of the characters. So I've created an Ursula room, there's an Ariel room, and then there's an Eric room. I just thought that might be a bit more different and unique and give me a chance to use some of the items that I don't often get to use because I don't think they fit in with the valley. So that's why I've kind of gone a slightly different route. So it is slightly like a boat and slightly not like a boat, if that makes any sense. So we start off here in the main entrance, which I imagined as like the ship's hub. So you can imagine them charting their way here with all these books and scrolls. We have the kind of nautical themed furniture to go here. I'm not sure why this doesn't go exactly against the wall. It bothers me a little bit. I have no idea why there's a gap there, but for some reason that's how it works, so okay. And then you got the little ottoman thing here, and then the little coffee table, and the chaise longue. And yeah, what I've tried to do actually is almost disguise Ursula's room. So although there is the light above it, I've tried to kind of tuck it away in the corner. But we'll go do Eric's room first. So I wanted this to have kind of like a royal feel. I also wanted to have it as kind of like a front of the ship feel, or maybe the back really, just with kind of like the wide windows where he could kind of see out to the ocean. I kind of, this is going to sound really weird, I kind of imagine this as like, you know those globes you get where you hide the alcohol in them? Like, I imagine this is that kind of space. So hence the kind of like the bar glasses above. We've got a kind of more formal desk setting, and then we've got a sleeping area. Now, I didn't know what to do in terms of the bed for Eric. You'll see that I debated through a few different options. I originally had the pallet bed, which I think would work, but I decided to go for something a bit more regal, a bit more royal. So that's why we've got the celestial bed. And I also did the kind of like the fabric red wall because I thought it looked a bit kind of like royal, and it goes well with this carpet. We also put in a piano for him, sort of imagine him either playing some classical music or having classical music played to him. And then we've made use of the red one in here. And that's about it for Eric's room. Following on from that, we have Ariel's room. See, this is the furniture that I kind of don't really know what to do with, because it doesn't really fit in a space for like the valley. Like, I don't want these out on the beach. I don't think they look particularly nice as items. If they were in an underwater biome, I think it would work. Or if I could place these items somehow on the water, they'd probably look a little bit better. But being on the sand and stuff, they just don't look very good, in my opinion. So no offense to obviously anyone who has styled it that way. But yeah, so I thought that would be a great opportunity to kind of make use of these furniture items that I otherwise wouldn't use. And then we've got the kind of like dresser and stuff like that, just to make it a bit more like a normal house setting. I guess you could imagine her getting ready here and stuff like that. I do need to get another one of these mirrors so that it's symmetrical, because that does bother me a little bit. But I'll do that at some point. We'll get an extra mirror and put that in there. And then we have got a fish tank, just I mean, maybe that's Ariel's way of talking to her friends. She can just put them in her tank for a bit. They can hang out, they can have a chat. You know, this doesn't have to be an awful situation. And then we'll go on to the last room, which I think is my favorite. I really like this room. And this is Ursula's room. Yeah, no, I love this room. I love this room. I absolutely adore it. So I've kind of got this set up like as if it's where she does her spells and potions. Then we have the bed as well. This is actually the fawny bed, but with the kind of like purple colours, I think it fits in really well. And especially with the wallpaper behind, it just, yeah, it looks like it was kind of made for this room. And then we've got the fawny fireplace. This fireplace is actually really beautiful. It wasn't until I was watching Sarah was doing a live stream where he was rating the dream snaps photos, and someone used this in one of their builds, and I was like, okay, that fireplace is stunning, why don't I use it? So I have actually decided to make use of it, and we've put it in here. And then we've got her little seating area here. You could imagine her making her deals here and stuff like that. I actually love this room. I'm not gonna lie, this is this is one of my favorite things I've built. I'm pretty proud of this. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I love this. I love this. I think it's really good. And then we've got her mirror, so you can pretend that she changes herself into Vanessa or whatever and sings to herself there. But yeah, I love this. This was a lot of fun. And like I said, a nice way to use some items that I otherwise wouldn't use. And I think this is a great build to kind of have in conjunction with Eric's castle that I've now built. Oh look, there he is. Right on time. Hello, Mr. Eric. Play your little flute. But yeah, I think it works really, really well. So we've got Eric's little beach decorated as well as his boat. So I'm really happy with that. I think we made great progress today in terms of decorating in the valley. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a little like and subscribe to the channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now!